Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. We get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Monday, new week. Gonna have a partial lunar eclipse Friday. I think it's a lunar eclipse. It's a full moon, so I'm going with lunar eclipse. And last month, well, was it last month or the beginning of this month? I don't remember. There was a solar eclipse, big one. So that's been exciting. But actually, where I'm at, it may be partial. I don't know if it's going to be a full one where everybody else is. And I think it might also be a blood moon. So I think it is a lunar eclipse because I think it's going to be passing in front of the sun, which makes it look red. So I think I'm not sciencey. So I wish I were. I wish I were more sciencey, but I'm not. So anyways, good morning and welcome back. Got a lot of stuff this week. I actually have shows planned this week. I know. So talking about the eclipse and the full moon on Friday, I ordered a new set of cards and I have to get them prepared. So Thursday we'll do a moon reading. So that'll be fun. But and even if it's not in your wheelhouse, just come anyways, because what the hell, right? You never know. I only work from a good place. So yeah, which most people only work from a good place. So, you know, if they're not, then that's how you know to walk away. But everybody else, you know, don't follow the movies. Don't, you know, watch this, because 99.9% of people out there that do these kind of things are not bad. You do have your handful, or you do have your few who are nefarious grifters, but you know, you just gotta use your discernment and your spidey instincts to shift away from them. So anyways, today I need a pen because my other one died. Today I found this over the weekend and I was just so excited about it because this guy nails it. He nails it 100%. And I don't mean in the sense of all the facts that he spews, but in the way that even, you know, women tend to overlook all the symptoms of perimenopause. And I'm going to preface that with, actually, I'm going to read this and then I'll tell you my feelings and thoughts about it after and how I kind of fell into that same category. So anyways, so my note was, by the end of reading this, I was in tears. I had never felt more seen by a post than I did by this one. And, you know, as you all know, I've been here with my dad trying, you know, to help him get better and rehab him and all that. And it's very clear that men, and like I said, even some of us who were, you know, not perimenopausal or even menopausal yet and had no clue. But and I think he tries to understand, but even if I don't understand it, how's he going to understand it? And it's just kind of like, you know, all this stuff, and then it just wraps into all these things, and it just kind of explodes into something not bad, but I mean, it just kind of, it makes your head hurt. Legit makes your head hurt. Good morning, Muddy. So anyways, so this comes from the Instagram page, She's Not Crazy series, the She's Not Crazy series. It just, She's Not Crazy series, and it's all one word. So if you want to find him, it's really great. He mansplains a lot of things. And I like how he says that, because he called this mansplaining perimenopause. And it's funny because he's not mansplaining it to women, he's mansplaining it to men. Excuse me. Oh, good morning, older sibling. Did I say good morning, Muddy? I hope so. Anyways, so I love this. I genuinely love this because his whole thing is like, you know, his whole site is based on like communication, and you know, if you're not communicating, how can blah blah blah. So thank you, Muddy. Oh, she blessed me. Oh, good, because I thought I might die, and I'm serious. I always say that. It's like, aren't you going to bless me? I could die. So anyways, I'm going to read this. And it's a little long. So grab your cuppa, sit back, and just listen for a few minutes. So, sorry, so I can turn the pages. So mansplaining menopause from She's Not Crazy series. A few hot flashes, bit moody, then done. That's what I used to think, but most men still think this. Wildly wrong. Turns out it's one of the most chaotic biological events a human body can go through. Here's what most men think perimenopausal symptoms are. Hot flashes, bit moody. That's it. That's the list. Here's the actual list. Stay with me. 34 plus documented symptoms all at once for up to a decade. Hot flushes, night sweats, insomnia, brain fog, new onset anxiety, panic attacks, rage from nowhere, grief without a cause, joint pain, frozen shoulder, migraines returning after 20 years, palpitations, vertigo, tinnitus, skin crawling, burning mouth, itching that has no explanation. I'm getting an itch on my elbow too. Sorry, that's probably just, because it's suggested. Hair thinning, weight redistribution, loss of libido, painful sex, recurrent UTIs, bladder urgency, gum problems, body odor changes, memory loss that feels like dementia, bone density dropping, cardiovascular risk climbing all at once for years, and nobody warned her it was coming. Nobody told her it lasts not weeks, not months, but years. Sometimes a decade. She doesn't know when it started, she doesn't know when it ends, and it isn't a straight decline. Her hormones don't drop steadily. They surge, crash, surge again, crash deeper. 1 week she's fine, the next she can't sleep, can't think, can't regulate. The week after that, she's almost back. Then it crashes again, worse than before. She wakes up every morning not knowing which body she's in today. For a man to feel this hormonally, he'd have to age 120 years in a week, then pop back to normal, then age 140 years, then pop back again and again, for up to a decade, never knowing which day he'd wake up to. In any other context, we'd all in any other context, we'd call this a medical emergency. For her, it's Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday for up to 10 years. While being told she's moody, while being told she's irrational, while being told it's just a phase, while being handed antidepressants and being sent home. Here's the job. You can't stop the storm. You can't smooth the crashes. You can't give her back the sleep. You can't put the chemistry back. You can't fix her. She doesn't need fixing, but you can hold the ground steady while the storm runs. Don't try to predict her. You can't. Don't ask her to be consistent. Her biology isn't being consistent. Don't take the crash personally. It's not about you. Believe her the first time. Move the load when she's down. Get out of the way when she needs space. She's not falling apart. She's not crazy. She's not broken. She's not moody. She isn't cracked. She isn't crazy. She isn't moody. Notice how he said that twice? She's walking through the most chaotic decade her body will ever face without a map and being told to act normal the entire way. Hold the ground steady. That's the job. I tell you again, I was in tears by the end of reading that because I had never felt more seen in my life. I mean, now, here's the thing. These are documented symptoms, but not everybody goes through them. I mean, I know that the big one that probably sticks out is libido, right? Everyone's like, oh man, her libido. Well, her libido kicks in, but she just doesn't know when it's going to kick in. It just happens. One day she could just be like, nope, not today. And the next week it could be like, let's go every single day. So, you never know what the symptoms are going to be. And some women, they just lose their libido. So you have to try to figure it out on your own and see, kind of where you come out in the end. But like I said, the majority of these things are absolutely correct. I get moody out of nowhere. And I was already moody, but I mean, because of the depression, but I had that pretty much under control, for the most part. I really felt like I had that under control. Like I was kind of doing the, okay, I got this thing. And then perimenopause happened. And older sibling and I were talking about this because I know I did a show a couple weeks ago on perimenopause and then perimenopause with ADHD and perimenopause with depression. And it's not a fun ride. And I told older sibling that if it hadn't been for perimenopause, I probably could have ignored my ADHD a lot longer. But because of perimenopause, I had to get myself diagnosed because I needed to know for sure that this was something that I had to add to my pile so that I can fix it. And I don't need fixing, just like the thing said. We don't need fixing, but for me, I have to learn how to kind of combine these houses and put them in the same room and get them to get along. And that can be difficult. Perimenopause alone can be difficult. One of the other things, I don't think they mentioned this, but oh no, they did. Migraines returning after 20 years. But sometimes it's not even migraines. Sometimes it's just headaches. Sometimes it is just absolute headaches that come out of nowhere and for absolutely no reason. And it does. It gets a little distracting. It gets a little bit concerning. But I'll be honest with you. Until I started going through perimenopause, that's everything that a man thinks that it is exactly what I thought it was. I thought it was just hot flashes and being moody. I really did. I thought all I was in for was hot flashes. Turns out I'm in for like a variety of crap, and it sucks. But you know, older sibling and I were talking about this last night because I did Planned Parenthood had a Zoom call and a couple months ago, and I was home, and older sibling and I were listening to it, and they're all, what is perimenopause to you? And somebody said it perfectly. She's all, it's like cougar puberty. So if you don't know what a cougar is, it's usually an older woman going after a younger man. So, which doesn't seem like a very fair thing, because we don't call men anything when they go after younger women. So why do women get the label cougar? But you know, we took it back and embraced it, right? So, yeah, somebody said it was like going through cougar puberty. And I told older sibling that. I said, it's like being in a constant state of PMS. And she's like, I was always trying to figure out how to put it. And that's, you know, like she was agreeing with me. And, you know, she's obviously out of perimenopause, but, or past it. But, you know, it was also hard for her because, you know, she has CRPS. So her hot flashes very well could have just been a flare up, or her hot flashes could have caused a flare up. So perimenopause affects women in a lot of different ways. And I just, I'm like, dude, okay, really? It's like you couldn't make our plumbing a little bit more, you know, nice. I mean, when you hit puberty, you bleed for like a week, up to a week. And then, you know, you get cramps, you get backaches, you get, you know, headaches, you have incontinence, and your eating changes. Like, you know, you're going to binge your way out of a grocery store or something. And it's just, and then all the pregnant women, right? I've never been pregnant, but I know a lot of people who have been, and it's just like, oh, I'm craving this and I'm craving that and I'm craving whatever. And it's just kind of like, wow, you know, and yeah, I mean, the woman's body has the ability to create a life. But, you know, when I'm looking back now, and it's like, I should have thanked my mom a lot more when she was still alive, because it's like, wow, you went through a lot. And now I'm going through the puberty. I went through the puberty. Now I'm going through the cougar puberty. And it's kind of like, oh, it's like being Data from from Star Trek Next Generation. And he just, you know, malfunctions and shuts down and just like frozen. You know, that's what it feels like sometimes. I walk into rooms. I do walk into rooms now and have no idea why I'm in this room, because it's like, wait, what did I come in here for? And then, you know, and we all go through that, right? Because sometimes we'll retrace our steps, because that's the thing. We retrace our steps, try to figure it out, and then we go back. No, I retrace my steps, and it's like, I still can't remember why. And when he called it, what did he say? Oh, it was, the way he put it was funny. Memory loss, it feels like dementia. I mean, that's not funny, because I know people whose parents and in-laws have dementia, and not fun at all. But it's like, it's funny, not funny, haha, but kind of funny in context of like, wow, seriously, that's exactly what it feels like, you know. And that can also be a problem too, because there may be women out there who have early onset dementia, and they're just chalking it off to perimenopause and not getting it checked, so that, you know, they can do treatment earlier to kind of help them have a longer time before, you know, the inevitable happens. But, so yeah, so I'll be honest with you. Today, older sibling is forcing me to go to urgent care. And you're saying, how is she forcing you? She made me promise, and I cannot break promises to older sibling. And I'm thinking it probably just very well could be perimenopause. All right. But she wants me to make sure and get it taken care of. And I don't blame her. I appreciate the fact that there's somebody there saying, you know, you really need to do this. You know, then baby sibling was like, yeah, I agree with her. So it's kind of like, fine. When two people gang up on you, you know you gotta go. But I did try to kick it off and, you know, just be like, eh. But also, she's right, because here's the thing. Here's the scary part about perimenopause, aside from every symptom we just talked about. But I mean the actual medical scary part. As I just mentioned, with it feels like dementia, someone could be early onset and not know this because perimenopause masks it. Someone could have an illness and not know this because perimenopause masks it. So I know that none of us want to feel like we're hypochondriacs and constantly going to the doctor to get this, that, and the other checked. But if it is consistent, if it is something that, you know, is constantly happening, I implore you, please, to get it checked out. Even if it's just to tick a box and say, oh, okay, that's not it. Okay, but otherwise, look, here comes the hot flash. So anyways, so yeah, I would just get it checked. You know, I feel kind of embarrassed for the amount of times I've been to urgent care this year. You know, first my knee, then my hand, then I fell out of the car. In Hawaii, when I got tripped up, I fell out of the minivan. I talked about that because it's like, I'm just gloriously graceful. And then that wasn't going away. Then the ankle, but now I'm actually going in for something. And I think I've been trying to avoid it because it does scare me a little bit. I mean, I hope it's just perimenopause, which I hate the headaches. And I know they're not just caffeine related because I've been drinking caffeine all my life. I've been drinking decaf all my life. When I do go to caffeine, I never have headaches like this when I stop it. So, so, you know, it, like I said, it very well could be perimenopause, but, older sibling's right. And I'm glad she actually made me talk about that, because I think talking about it on this show and getting people to just rule things out is a good idea, because you don't want to be caught unawares, right, by something that, may be harming you for the long run, and maybe something that's, you know, not right with your body, and definitely not related to perimenopause at all. So, so yeah, it's better to just get it checked. You know, I mean, for those of us who are going through perimenopause, I know a lot of people, you know, I think it's very rare for women to menopause in their 30s, but I know women menopause in their 40s. My mom menopaused in her 40s. Sorry guys, I'm just kind of like all over the place right now. But my mom menopaused in her 40s, and I always thought I was going to menopause in my 40s, but it turned out it didn't really start until this year. So that being said, I am discovering a whole new range of things that my body can do that I don't appreciate. But but you know, maybe I'm a little more bitter about it because I didn't have kids. So it's kind of like, why did I have to go through all this? I didn't have any kids. But I am appreciative of the fact that the human body, the woman's human body, can do this, can create a life within it. But at the same time, the before, you know, the before is kind of like, you know, you celebrate it, right? The after, it's difficult. It is difficult because I'm not kidding when I say it's like being in PMS 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because, you know, you never know which mood you're going to have. You know, I could walk out this room and become like a complete fierce bear, you know. Don't mess with me. Come at me, bro. You know, don't mess with my people, bro. Let's go. You know, and I'm already bad at that as it is. You know, I'm very protective of my people. So it's just kind of like, you know, but like I said, if you're a man listening to all this, or you're even a woman listening to all of this, yes, a lot of these things happen, but not everybody has all these things. Remember, these are documented symptoms, not just from one person, but from different people. So, and a lot of times it's just, you know, so I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at my journal, but I put it too far away. A lot of you know I do the 117-day journaling, and I don't do it all the time, but I do it. I've been doing it a lot because I feel like it's something that I've needed to try to push me through. And 117 days is from the day my mom got diagnosed to the day she died. Excuse me, was 117 days. And so I started writing it thinking, you know, what would I do at 117 days if that's all I had left? And it's not to be morbid, but it's kind of like, how much can your life change? And it has. It's changed a lot. I only recently started this in the last maybe 6 or 7 years, but I decided that I'm going to do 117 days just kind of focusing on the perimenopause, trying to see what my symptoms are, trying to, you know, gauge myself, because I'm not going to lie, my libido has not taken a hit. So, you know, and yes, I am very single. So yes, not to be overly intimate, but yes, I do have to care for my own needs. And so it's kind of like when I read that, it's like, but there are times when it's just kind of like, nope, don't feel it at all. So, you know, for those of you who do have a partner and you are sexually active, just be a little kinder, take a little more, you know, care in it. And women, you know, sometimes it's painful because you need the lube. So if you need the lube, use the lube. All right. There's no shame in that. I mean, that stuff's existed since at least the 70s. Probably before that. But yeah, so, you know, I know that the conversation's getting a bit intimate on that end, but, you know, I'm not going to shy away from things like that, because I think women need to know, and I think men need to know. And I think if you are in you know, a relationship with someone, whether, you know, no matter how you identify, you know, if your partner is of the female persuasion, I think, you know, just take extra care, you know, take extra care of each other. You know, if you're a same-sex couple, just take care of each other, you know, mind the road, you know, hold space for each other. And if you are not a same-sex couple, still hold space for your partner, because this person is I mean, it is. What did I call it, older sibling? I think I called it, wait, hold on. I know I put it in my journal. I called it, last night. Random chaos. Random chaos right there. That's exactly what I called it. It just felt like random. It feels like random chaos. It absolutely does. It's, chaos is already hard enough, but when it's random, even more wicked. So, you know, you kind of have to just figure out how you fit into your own equation and how you fit into your own body. And I absolutely love the fact that this guy gets it, that he wrote it down, because, you know, he's not, when it says, you know, usually men mansplain things to women, but I like that he's mansplaining this to men, not because it's like, yeah, you know, we're not stupid. We know things. All right. We don't need you to mansplain perimenopause, but I love that he mansplains it to other men, because I think when you are armed with information, you know how to approach the subject better. You know how to approach, you know, what's happening better. And I will post this link, because, I mean, it was just more of a swipey thing, but everything that was on it, I already read to you. But I think I shared it on Instagram to my stories, but I was just so moved by this whole thing. And, you know, that, you know, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, a lot of this may have come on because of his partner, or maybe a parent or a sister. I don't know. I don't know his story, but it's just, it flew across my attention, and I thought, I got to put this on the show. So like I said, his Instagram handle is shesnotcrazyseries. So, and it's just that, She's Not Crazy Series, and it's one word. So just all together, and it's on Instagram. But, so he posts a lot of good relationship stuff. And like I said, I think it's just important. It's important for us to know these things, because even as women, I think we don't always pay the proper attention to ourselves that we should. So ladies, if you are in your perimenopausal phase, or you're even just PMSing, all right, maybe you're still in, you know, the maiden phase, right? You have not the maiden, the mother, and the crone phase. Now, you may not be a mom, but you're still going to go through the mother phase, because your plumbing is still going, right? And the crone phase is when you're straight up just trying to get rid of it all. But if you're still in the mother phase, even, take care of yourselves. You know, when you're PMSing and you just feel like you want to punch a wall, please don't destroy the furniture. Don't destroy the house. Don't destroy your people. Okay, no hitting people. It's a no-no. I don't care what I don't care how you identify, no hitting people that you love, because that's not good. You know, sometimes I'm sure you can't stop a fight with people out there that are just, you know, being dumb. But yeah, no abuse, okay? Please. Get your shit together and check yourself at the door, all right? So that's my little PSA right there. But for women, take care of yourselves. You know, get out there, take care of yourselves. I promise I will. You know, that's why I made older sibling make me promise to go to urgent care, because I am a little afraid. I don't think they're going to find anything, to be honest with you. I think it probably is perimenopause, but at least I can tick that box off and make sure and know that if it ever changes or becomes cluster, then I know that there's more that's going on. But it's better to just get it out of the way, right? And she's right. It's better to just get it out of the way, and something you don't have to worry about. And you know, and I for those of you who are thinking, because there's always that one person out there going, yeah, she just wants the drugs. I can't have the drugs. Okay, I'm allergic to every opiate on the planet. So yes, that's true. I am actually allergic to them. They make me violently ill. So and I just know that from when I went to the dentist and got coating from my wisdom teeth. That did not end well. And then when I had to have a cardio catheter just to check my heart and make sure it was okay, and they gave me morphine, that did not end well. That one really did not end well. So yeah, so no. Anyways, so that's that. I hope this helped in some way. I hope it helped the women. I do, God, see, just itching out of nowhere. And then, of course, as you know, as any human knows, when you start itching, everything else starts itching. So, anyway. So yeah. Just be kind. You know, and women, do your best to be kind too. You know, just because a man knows what your symptoms might be doesn't mean you could use him as a punching bag, or, you know, if you're whoever your partner is, you know, that doesn't mean you can use them as a punching bag. That's not how it works. It's not, oh, well, you know, I'm going through this, so I have license to bitch. No, you don't. All right. I know sometimes it will happen. Like I said, I do rage out of nowhere sometimes now, and it's kind of like, whoa, you know, and then all these memories of my past come flooding back before I was an unhealed specimen, and it's just kind of like, oh, I really don't like that person. So don't shame yourself either. It's going to happen. Your hormones are in, I don't know, think of it as like, I guess the best way I can put it is, your plumbing is ready to close the factory, and all the protesters, Norma Ray is stepping up going, I don't think so. Of course, that was more for like pay and all that stuff, but and better work environments. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like your body is revolting, and management is trying to keep it under control, and you're just like, nope. So, you know, just be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. All right. The weight redistribution that they talked about, obviously a lot of that is weight gain. Do what you need to do, you know, just, I'm not going to, you know, we don't need to stop doing the things that we love just because there's this, that, or the other. It's going to happen. But, you know, if you exercise regularly, just allow yourself that. If you don't, there's a bunch of different types of easier exercises on YouTube that get you moving. You know, there's Tai Chi walking, there's Tai Chi chair, there's Tai Chi yoga, or not Tai Chi yoga, chair yoga. And, you know, there's all these different things on YouTube that offers just a variety of exercise levels for people, you know. And I mean, check with your doctor first, you know, like if you're concerned about anything. And that doesn't mean it replaces the gym, but I get it. Gyms are expensive, and not everybody wants to go to one because, you know, yeah, sometimes you might feel judged. Sometimes you might feel, you know, just insecure there, no matter what size you are, because, you know, even the most fit person sometimes has body dysmorphia. So don't be judgy. All right. I knew a very, very fit person once who had the worst body dysmorphia on the planet, and this person, I'm pretty sure, did not have an ounce of fat on them. So, you know, so yeah, and struggled with major body dysmorphia. So, so yeah, just check in with yourself daily, you know, and if you have to, keep a small journal. They, you know, they make tiny little books. Look, I'll show you. Oops. They make tiny little books that you can keep in your bag, all right, for you to just jot shit down. Even if you're angry with the world, you know, like you could put fuck the world in the first page. So, that's my little password book. I turned it into a password book, but I got it from the Dollar Tree, right? So the $1.25, just for a tiny little book. You know, you could stick your pen right in there. So, you know, and it's not for anybody else's purpose but your own. Because, like I said, we are going through a state of random chaos. And it's random because we never know when it's going to hit. It's like an earthquake, right? You never know when it's going to happen. You can see a hurricane coming, you can see a tornado coming, there's weather systems and weather alerts for that, but you really don't know when the earthquake's coming. So it's just kind of like, you hang on and you brace yourself. And I think that when we're armed with the right information, and we're armed with the fact that this isn't something that we can control, and we just have to learn how to go with the flow, not literally ant flow, but go with the flow, it might make things a little bit easier. It's certainly not going to make it go away until it's ready to go away, but it could help, you know, and I'm going to practice that too. That's why I have my journal. I'm going to be journaling it now. You know, like if I feel something, I mean, that journal is pretty much going to be my sidekick for the next 117 days. So that's probably, what is that, 4 months? So I guess around Christmas we'll find out how Shelly fared. who I left in my wake. So yeah. And men, you know, don't be afraid of the women, okay? Don't be afraid of the women your age, because, yeah, you know, I mean, we who are perimenopausal have a lot to offer the world. You know, we have a lot of wisdom to offer the world. And I think sometimes we get forgotten and sometimes we get left behind, and usually for the younger model or not model, but the younger version of somebody or whatever. Not always. I'm not saying that's always the case, but, you know, for the cases of those women who have found themselves in those situations, just own who you are, because if there is a person out there that is for you, they will find you, you know. I've pretty much given up on whoever's going to find me, so but I share my wisdom. I share my wisdom with you so that, you know, you don't get left behind. All right. And if not, just find your best friends and just go out and live your best life, and do that anyways. Even if you do find somebody, just, you know, don't forget your besties who are always there for you and in your corner. So, yeah. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. And, yeah, if something scares you or something bothers you and you're not really sure what it is, don't let doctors shame you. All right. I know that right now we're trying to figure out my dad, because, we think, you know, I've been putting this out there for forever that it could be just the meds and the amount of weight he's lost. He may need med changes. And, the only reason I'm speaking to that, which is totally off topic, is because if we don't advocate for ourselves, no one else is going to. All right. And if you need to make your doctor listen, make your doctor listen. I've been very lucky that my doctor listens. Okay. And, you know, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I am absolutely 100% grateful for that. But not everybody's doctor does. And when you reach a certain age, just like with perimenopause, they're kind of, oh, well, you're just menopausal. Okay, well, thanks. No shit. Right? You kind of feel like you're, oh, so this is when it starts. This is when I start getting written off because of my age. Be an advocate for yourself. All right. I'm not saying you're going to go out there and be a hypochondriac, and don't let anybody talk you into that. If you are having consistent symptoms and you need to have something checked out, don't let them shame you. All right. This is their job. This is why they went to school for 20 years. Okay. Like, went through the whole thing for 15 years from start to finish, when they're finally doctor and no longer a resident or an intern or whatever, you know, however that process goes. I'm not really sure how it works, so I don't want to, you know, ruffle any feathers there. But all I'm saying is advocate for yourself, especially when you get older. Because if you don't, nobody else will. You may have a family member that does it for you. I do my best to do it for him. I sent my father's doctor a very strongly worded letter saying, look, I've been trying to mention this to everybody and no one's paying attention. So, you know, does he need his meds adjusted? This man has lost like 70 pounds in the last year, and he's still on the same dose of medication. So, there's my soapbox moment. Again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. And yeah, please take care of yourselves. I'm having another hot flash. I'm sorry. And my brain is squirreling again. So anyways, I'll be back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shella Marie Lucas. You can also catch me on YouTube, TikTok, and across the social media board, except Instagram. One day I'll figure that out, or I just give up on it. I don't know. But you can find me on all the others. All right. So again, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Muddy. Thank you, older sibling, for being on. I appreciate you too for, thank you for the bless you. And I will see everybody tomorrow. Have a great day.